Hey y'all, back at it again with another letter. We got it sent in. This should be fun because we're going with the letter to a fuckboy. Now, let's get into it. Dear F-boy, I'm done dealing with you. I refuse to enable your narcissistic behaviors and traits. You don't care, so why pretend to? You literally need therapy. You think that you can just move on your own accord so selfishly and carelessly, almost in such a delusional manner where you believe you're invisible to consequences. You'll play these mind games of manipulation, and when you're confronted, you simply ghost because ultimately you're a coward. The reality is, you're emotionally equal to a child, but swear you're a man. Well, damn. Just because your mama didn't love you the way you needed to be loved doesn't mean you can just take your issues out on other women. You clearly have commitment issues, along with the inability to rationalize that maybe you are the problem. You only keep me around just so you can have someone there, just in case the other options you exercise isn't any better. What makes you think that this type of behavior won't trickle on over to your daughter in the future? You think that you can come around and benefit off of me just because I'm loving, caring, and giving. In return, all you give is good dick and bubblegum. That's not enough. Get off your high horse and allow yourself to sit in reality. Stop thinking that all you do won't come back to you because karma's a bitch. Sincerely, a fed up woman. And fed up she is. What if? Now, that's some fucking shit. Let's talk about the fuckboys, because you know we out here with the. I think the anthem of the summer has to be the Glorilla chick, FNF. Let's Go song that she got going. Like, you know, I'm F-R-E-E, fuck, nigga, free, right? Right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
N-M-S-I-N, no, I'm sorry. Let me stop. Before I get my ass whooped. No, sorry, I'm kidding. Just kidding. No, domestic violence is not something to joke about, and I promise you, we good over here. We good. I'm just playing. Anyways, so I definitely want to get into the conversation about F-boys, because I do believe that that is an epidemic that we are dealing with within the dating community or the dating pool. That is also a cesspool that I often refer to when we talk about that, because shit, there's a whole bunch of shit turds and a whole bunch of piss in it, because it's just trash out here dating. So if you have a loved one and you know you have your significant other that ultimately loves you good, bad, and indifferent, hang on to them, because I promise you these streets ain't friendly and it ain't worth it. I promise. There ain't nothing out here for you. Don't think the grass is green on the other side, because I promise you it ain't greener. It's like that fake grass, you know? We're showing representatives out here, you know? It's almost kind of like the Matrix in a way. When you think about the Matrix, and it's a whole bunch of representatives, but you don't really know who you're dealing with, because it could be an agent, an undercover, whatever. Anyways, let me go back. Sorry. Didn't have my coffee. Kind of have a headache. I don't know. I'm just fucked up right now. But it's alright. Anywho. So, what is F-boy, actually? I should definitely pull up that. What?
Yeah, in Webster's Urban Dictionary?
Yeah, I'm going to try Webster's Urban Dictionary. And then maybe we could ask our lovely people in the background what's their opinions. Ooh, okay, so this is coming from, I think, Oxford Languages Dictionary. It's a vulgar slang, derogatory noun. It is a weak or contemptible man, a man who has many casual sex partners. So I think they're taking fuck literally.
I mean, that's what you get for assuming Oxford would know what the fuck a fuckboy was.
Alright, let's go Urban Dictionary. Hold on. Alright, fuckboy. A boy who plays with girls' feelings and doesn't feel like them. Oh, I'm sorry. Can't read. Bifocals. I promise. No, these are actually a new prescription, so I don't even have an excuse. I'm just gonna go back with I didn't have my coffee today. Anyways, alright, let's try this over. Fuckboy. A boy who plays with girls' feelings and doesn't really like them and would say anything to a girl because that's what she wants to hear, to have sex with them or to get them something that they want. Fuckboys know what girls want to hear, but they also hurt so many girls. Once they are a fuckboy, they'll always be a fuckboy. If you know a guy who's a fuckboy, don't fall for him. Usually fuckboys are cute, so yeah, It literally says so. Yeah, I promise. It's not me saying.
Yo,
so,
whichever
yeah.
person wrote that
And
description
usually you
was
can tell
hurt.
if they're a fuckboy of how they dress and act. He's kind of like a player and a hoe. Dude, I found out was a fuckboy, so I left his ass. By Know It All, June 8, 2015. Yeah. Oh, so people could actually.
Yeah, you can submit to the Urban Dictionary.
Oh, who does?
She was hurt. She was hurt.
What?
She might as well have said Tyrone as a description.
Yo. Hold on, there's so many of them.
Oh, man.
This one, and this is from Stevette 4.0 on November 25th, 2015. Fuckboy is a guy that goes around fucking girls and then leaving them for another bitch. He's a fuckboy. Damn, like, yo, hold on.
Urban Dictionary's fire.
I didn't realize, I never really went on Urban Dictionary and like, oh yeah, that's my niece in the background. If you hear her, mind your business. We're out here trying to, get our money by every means necessary, and the life of an entrepreneur and a mom is not easy. Anyways, so back to this whole fuckboy Urban Dictionary thing. I didn't realize it was kind of like a forum.
It's like Wikipedia.
Oh.
You can just add shit and no one can disprove you. Like,
well, damn. This one is also hurt. A boy, not a man, who will mislead you into believing that they are different than others. They will put in a lot of time and effort trying to convince people that they are a good person, when in reality they are nothing but scum. Sounds like a narcissist. They will start off being very sweet and convincing that you are quote-unquote special, but that will soon change when they get what they want. Then blame everyone else for their life problems and trying to convince people. Yeah, she's explaining a narcissist. So is it...
It's open-ended. It's open-ended, I guess.
Is it like a spectrum of narcissism?
Yeah, I guess. I guess it's on the scale.
Hold on. Yeah, like all of them. This one, an immature, worthless boy who plays with your heart and feelings so that he can get his dick wet, but then leaves you in the dirt for another girl and messes her up too. They will never stop because they were born to break hearts. Like, yeah, Urban Dictionary, we need to have a conversation because this is crazy. Oh, this one, it kind of gives a description of what to look for.
Oh my god, we have traits.
Oh man, so listen, it says, fuckboy, a boy who wants to stick his dick into every hot girl he sees. A guide on how to spot this common but disgusting species. White Nike tube socks with Adidas sandals, okay? Asks for nudes. Tells you you're the only girl he's talking to. Damn, what the fuck? Adds hashtag 420 to his bio because he smoked weed once. Has a lot of insecurities. Bruh.
Yo, these are all just hurt women giving these descriptions.
Alright, so it's like easy to kind of just, put into perspective that a fuckboy is a equivalent to what men call bitches. Like, is that like the female version of what men...
I guess it would be the male version of Bye Felicia. Like, the women you think of when you think of that phrase, I guess that would be the male equivalency.
But see, that's the thing. So, like, I did a little research because, I had to really dive into this whole concept. I have had my fair share... Well, no, let me not say it like that because that sounds wild, actually. I've dealt with a fuckboy, too, in my life, I'm sure, whether or not I'm going to confirm or deny how many, that's none of your business. We're going to keep it focused here.
100,000.
Alright?
100,000, we're spilling all the tea. We already said it. 100,000, we're spilling all the tea, bro.
That would be crazy.
We're dropping names and Twitter ads.
I don't even use Twitter.
Shut up.
Actually, I have a Twitter for Jason, but like it really is it's just there. Anyways, so I guess like what we used to call a player is what's considered a fuckboy now. Because when you think of a player, you think of a man who has multiple options. He has all kinds of females, and he can exercise whatever options he wants, essentially. Right?
I guess more so the truth in the person. Like, I feel like players know they're players and they're not apologetic.
So, wait, hold on. So, do you think fuckboys have they suffer cognitive dissonance?
Yeah, it's like they don't want to claim what they are, and that's what makes them a fuckboy. Like, if I pull up to you and I'm like, yo, I just want to fuck, and that's all this is gonna be, then I guess I would be considered a player. But if I try to coerce you with love into doing those things when I know that that's my intention, I guess I could be considered a fuckboy at that point.
What do you girls think?
I think it's subjective though, person by person.
Yeah, that's why those definitions are all kind of different but similar. It's like.
Yeah. I feel like every narcissist is a fuckboy, but not necessarily every fuckboy is a narcissist.
I like that.
That's interesting.
Every
So
narcissist is a fuckboy, but not every fuckboy is a narcissist.
Which is an interesting point, because that's definitely
because
interesting.
sometimes women just don't want to hear what they're trying to say.
So that is something that I did come across in my it's in my notes. So a lot of times they'll say like, okay, a fuckboy is like, you know, dishonest or not being real, or then sometimes they're just being too real and it's just being too forward and too blunt. Now, does that ever come to a point where women have to take accountability that maybe they're the delusional ones in the dynamic because they're going based on what they want to hear versus what's being told to them?
Are you asking me? I can't answer that fucking question. I have an answer, but I can't answer that because I'm a guy.
That's more of a reason why.
That is 100% what the fuck it is.
Like, what the hell? Like, yeah, I'm asking you.
As a guy that has gone through that, that's 100% what it is. You ever heard of main protagonist syndrome?
No.
Main protagonist, it's called main character syndrome.
Okay.
Where it's people have this innate ability to feel like the rules or the regulations of society do not apply to me because this is my story. And I'm the leader of my story. So if you think you are the most convincing person and you can change someone into being something that they're not, and I tell you off rip that I'm not going to change, it is still somehow my fault that you cannot change me, because then that would make my story my own instead of a part of yours.
And those are the men I think are narcissists.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's the subject.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's like, I told you I'm going to be this way, or I told you I don't want a relationship. I told you I just want this. But you are so in your main character syndrome that you can change me. Because for you to not be able to change me means you're the same as every other woman I've slept with.
Okay, so they want to be like.
And you don't, and just, y'all don't want to be the same as every other woman. Y'all want to be better. Like, that's just naturally.
Do you guys want to be the same?
Exactly, that's what I'm saying, but we can admit it.
Anyways, so then that goes to also to the point where one of the notes that is on this sheet, you know, I came back with my notes and everything because I'm telling you, I'm ready to get back in action. Anyways, a question is, can fuckboys be changed? Can a woman inspire them to, like, change their ways?
Oh, of course. There's always that one person that's going to change that man. It might not be you and you might not be able to handle that, but if you're not the right person for that boy, then he's probably going to be a fuckboy to you. But I think the limit is the honesty. If he was unhonest, he's a fuckboy. If he was honest with you, it's your problem.
True.
Okay.
True.
So, but then it leads me to question, right? Now, you think they heard her, right?
Possibly, but just give them a synopsis of what she said.
A synopsis of what was said was basically saying that, shit, I almost like lost myself real quick. Sorry, there's so many thoughts going in my head right now. Just
this is an interesting subject.
Conversation.
Yeah.
All right. So essentially, what she was saying was that there is a possibility of changing a fuckboy. You just have to be that person to pull it out of them, but you can't like knock them if you're not that person.
Yeah.
And you know, everyone has that person that can inspire them, but if he's honest, then he's not a fuckboy. But if he wasn't honest and he's just playing the manipulative game, then he's a fuckboy. That's just like literally me grabbing the bullet points of what she said. She said it in a much better way, but yeah.
I think a big part of it is with men, especially. Unfortunately, the change often comes in heartbreak.
So is it that a man finally likes a female, like a fuckboy could like a female, and then he gets that female that he thinks is the perfect one for him, and she's actually a fuck girl, and then he got his karma?
And sometimes yes, sometimes no. It could be that, but it's also, you ever heard of the billionaire bubble?
No.
Okay,
Where
cool.
Where the fuck are you finding all these?
Because I'm me. So the billionaire bubble is this. I watch wrestling, so I'll use wrestling as an example.
Okay.
The billionaire bubble is this. Vince McMahon has made $1 billion with the wrestling industry.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, as times change and as people change, what we're interested in, we know wrestling is fake.
Right.
So now you have to make us interested in the actual athletics of it or whatever the case may be. But for a person that has made $1 billion doing the same thing, they only know what has made them successful. They don't understand what we want or our concept of change. And it's the same thing in a relationship. If I'm a fuckboy and all I know is what has made me successful with getting women, it might be hard for me to get out of that. Even if I'm with a girl that I like, these mannerisms or behaviors might be hard for me to break. And it's not until I do some dumb shit and lose shorty that I realize, oh, damn, that was the one that got away, or I messed that up, and I'm not gonna get that back. So it's a double-edged sword. It can either make me better as a man,
right? I was just about to say,
or I could be like, yo, I'm never doing that again.
Right, I was just about to say, because ain't that what creates a lot of fuckboys is the fact that they got their heart broken when they were like in elementary school or some shit. They go into like middle school and high school on some vengeful like.
Sometimes it's just a reinvention of yourself.
I think it's also due to trauma. Some people don't get past that one trauma that happens in their childhood, and they're stunted at their growth.
I think 90% of the shit we go through is all trauma.
It's all trauma related.
It's all trauma based.
It's all trauma related.
Female,
Okay, so like a lot of people would say like characteristics of a fuckboy is that they come off selfish and cold, in regards to like their, like they move based on like how they want them. Like
yeah.
I guess kind of like that grand character thing.
Main protagonist.
But then I'm over here thinking that goes right back to like if we're gonna talk about narcissistic disorder traits or whatever the case may be, it puts me back into the grandiose characters trait.
Mm-hmm.
So like they think that they're so grand and you know they're this that, so they don't care about anyone else because it's all about them. And then almost kind of like cognitive dissonance, so they're not in tune with their reality because they think that they can maneuver a certain particular way.
Listen, I'm not super big astrology guy, but I'm a Cancer, and we all suffer from main protagonist syndrome. That's the only reason I can identify it, because there'd be a lot of times like I tell myself, this isn't about you.
This
is not about you. Just relax, nigga.
I'm fucking crying. A lot of people would categorize fuckboys to be attractive, and that has like a lot of options. So it's easy for them to be a fuckboy because they're attractive with a lot of options.
I think that's also subjective.
Yeah, because you know, because I met a lot of like guys who are necessarily like nerdy or corny or whatever.
Most of my player guy friends are the least attractive of my friends.
Right. A lot of them, if anything, I would say more so like the likelihood of them being a fuckboy is they got money. Is that like a good? I would say
that's second to the gift of gab.
Oh, gift of gab is.
I think that's the number one trait.
Yeah.
Because you have to know how to talk. You got to be able to. I could talk a nun out of her panties. I just choose not to because I'm a married man.
He's a nun.
But that's one of all of my friends that are players. They can talk. If you can talk or make a girl laugh, that's you've checked a lot of boxes off already.
So when we talk about like the whole fuckboy conversation, like there's fuck boys and fuck girls. Because if we think about the same sex relationships,
just like being a hoe is subjective and it's not gender based, being a fuck person.
There's a double standard with hoeing though, because guys can hoe and it's considered him being a player. No, girls can hoe. To y'all. To women, men slut shame their friends all the time. Yes, we do. They really hold their male.
Yes. I have about 3 friends right now that I consider flat out hoes, bro. Like,
but like to the same.
We don't do it. We don't do it publicly. That's the only difference. We do not do it publicly. There's a certain thing about disrespecting a man's body count in public that we won't cross. Like, women, y'all don't care. Y'all will call y'all friends all types of hoes and sluts. So yeah, y'all do it as a term of endearment.
It reminds me of Black Youngster.
Yeah, but yeah, like again, I think publicly it's viewed differently. I do think that. I think you guys are held to a way higher standard.
So if we go with the concept of like they want to accept, because another one, considering they're attractive, they have options. They want to exercise those options, but wants to keep women at arm's length in case the grass isn't greener on the other side.
Yeah, but that's most men. That's not just the fuckboy.
Hold on.
That's most men.
Hold on. Sound the alarm.
There's no alarm to be sounded. Women do it too.
What you mean?
Nobody, I don't think a single human being on this planet goes into any situation with 100%,
No, I agree.
you know what I mean?
I think, well,
It develops over time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it gradually grows into 100%.
Dude, that's why you think. Why do you think it's so common for the jokes of when you get married, your bachelor and bachelorette party, or like your last hurrah, and it's literally a party of regret. That's what it's. It's a party of regret. It's your male friends telling you every 5 seconds, bro, man, you're giving it all up. This is it. Da, da, da. It's like, and that's why a lot of people cheat on their bachelor parties, because it's like you get filled with all this information in your head where you feel like, oh my God, you know, what if I lose my touch, especially as a man? That's a thing for us. We feel like we don't want to lose our touch. You know what I mean? Like, you want to flirt with women just to see if you got it. Like, it's a thing. It's a thing. It's harmless sometimes,
now,
depending on the man.
I have a question for the one in the back. Because we kind of touched on it off camera, but I do want to bring it back to on camera because that shit was an interesting point of perspective, and I don't personally have that experience, so
I'm
therefore...
putting mad disclaimers under the screen on this.
Yeah, right. Listen, we are in full support, okay? I just have to ask. So, back to the earlier reference of the same-sex relationships or entanglements. Fuckboys, right? They come as men and women, right?
Oh, definitely.
Yes, they do.
But you know what? I feel like it more exists in like the same-sex relationships that have like studs and femmes.
Yes.
Okay.
Like femme and femmes, I'm sure can have a narcissistic partner, but like stud and femmes, the stud for the most part usually is the culprit of being the fuck boy or fuck girl.
And she's speaking from an anecdotal experience, okay? Like she's personal experience. She literally can talk about it. She has the criteria or like
but it's worse.
the credentials.
Because they love dump. They will manipulate you and treat you like shit and then love dump and I love you so much, I can't live without you, like that type of shit, which is a narcissistic thing.
So would you say it's because like they understand the woman's emotions because they are?
Yes.
No one can manipulate a woman better than a woman. No one.
Yeah, that's crazy.
No one.
I feel like it's sometimes worse in same
Most
relationships, which is why like that, thing of like lesbians moving together after one date or like getting married after the fifth date, the U-Haul truck, like that happens.
What?
Yeah. Oh, that's.
Girl.
Listen. That's why I said I'm putting all types of disclaimers because I'm 100% an ally. But I can see shit from that perspective. I can see that happen a lot. You know what I mean?
I've witnessed like the concept of the love bombing and like they shower you with all these. Ooh, shit, right?
But only after they fuck up,
Only after they fuck up?
Yes. Only
Wait, no, but how about like, because to me it's like, if anything, like people could be fuckboys in the sense of like a man could want a female so he pulls out all the stops and does everything and then once he got her it's almost like, eh.
But is that?
I think that's a fuckboy.
I don't think that's a fuckboy.
I think that's maybe somebody not realizing that maybe that's not the person who they want to be with.
I think that's just the mating dance between men and women these days.
It's not right.
There's a lot of fuckery going on with
There's a lot of, because you said, like, you just said that. A guy would do all of this stuff, wine and dine, finally get the cookie, and then revert. But how many women are like, yo, if you want to date me, you got to do this, you got to bring me here, you got to do, oh, that's all I got to, you gave me the foundation of what it takes to get
honestly, and I'm glad you brought that point because I be telling people during the time of like dating and stuff, I absolutely, a pet peeve goes right through me, will never answer it, is what kind of person do you like? Or what kind of, like, what do you like and, like, what do you like? What do you look for?
Human beings, nigga.
I do not answer that shit. I be like, integrity. Like, I'll give the most bland thing. You figure it out. Because I always tell people, when you tell people exactly what it is that you like or don't like, Well, I'm all for don't likes because I'd rather you not trigger me or not trigger me, but like annoy me and get me to a different zone.
If you give me a list of shit that you like, you've given me the blueprint of how to pretend.
Right, exactly. Because
my favorite comedian.
used to answer that question. Listen, the number one F boy that I can actually like right off rip remember.
100,000.
He thought that he was the real life Casanova. Oh my God, this guy put me through the ringer. And I was what, 22?
Yeah, sounds like a Virgo.
Nah, he was a Cancer. July 11th.
Oh my God, and he had my birthday? That's terrible.
He was a Cancer. Oh God, Lord, listen.
Oh
The
God.
Most High protected me with that one because, matter of fact, that's the ratchet story. We'll not talk about
100,000.
Too much details on that, but like, yeah, nah, he definitely was like the real life Casanova. I definitely went through a lot of bullshit, and he was a pure fuckboy. But a lot of it had to do with, and like when I think of it in retrospect, in hindsight, and I really reflect on that experience, I do believe that he had a lot of demons he was fighting.
Mm-hmm.
And the demons was like kicking his ass.
They were fucking
like,
him up. And I think, remember I told you earlier, we were just talking about that earlier. I was like, you was like, yo, you're the only Cancer I can deal with. I'm like, because I know how terrible we can be, so I try my best to not be.
When I tell you, like, when I think listen, there's a few signs I will not, I'm not, like, well, I'm into astrology, but, like, you know, I'm more in depth with it because I need to know your sun rising and your moon.
Yeah, see, that's too much for me.
On a general grand scheme, Cancer's one that's just off my list. Pisces, I don't know, y'all got some vices that you guys need to, like, really...
Oh, I love my Pisces.
Pisces are so emotional. They're so emotional. My daughter's a fucking
vices.
Pisces.
You gotta find out what their vices are, because if they are addicted to anything, they will go the full mile.
Oh yeah.
So that's
so
that's the thing with
imagine my luck.
Interesting because they literally will be on some shit where like they could be a little.
Imagine my luck when I dated a Pisces whose vice was sex.
Lord.
Yeah, that didn't go so well. It was just like, I can keep up with the best of them, but it's like, yo, eventually, shorty, you're gonna cheat because I'm tired.
But like, you know, so like Aquarius.
Like shit, I gotta work in the morning.
Hard-headed, like.
Capricorns are very hard-headed.
Oh my God, they say Taurus are? No, Capricorns.
So, all right, let me ask the room and then take my zodiac out of it or we fighting. Which sign would you say has the most fuckboys?
That's what I was going to say. How about Google that? What is the internet?
If I had to guess before you Google it, I would say either Virgo or Gemini.
Yes.
Well, yeah, no, Virgo is definitely up there.
I would say Virgo or Gemini.
Be up there.
Gemini too.
Gemini's are nuts.
But they just they own their insanity. Like there's no hiding that. Which is like if you own it, you know, somebody accepts to deal with it, then fine.
Yeah, and that's the thing. If you accept to deal with a person of who they are,
that's what they do. You know.
If you get with a man that you got with and he cheated on his girlfriend, you can't expect that man to be faithful.
Right.
You gotta get with your man knowing your man's a hoe.
Well,
like,
apparently.
Which sign is it? According to whatever source. Is that the shade room?
No. Ranked from most to least, Aries is number one.
Aries?
It goes Aries, Gemini, Cancer,
of course,
Sagittarius. Oh, I don't like that they threw Sagittarius. There's no way a Libra's worse than a fucking Sag.
Absolutely.
Fuck out of here, bro.
We're so perfect.
Leo.
We do know that.
Virgo's ranking number 7.
You know why? Hold on. You know why I feel like Sag is high on that list? Because of what we categorize as, stop getting all personal with it, because of what we categorize as those traits, because of the, I guess, nonchalantness of a Sag,
Yep.
I can see that. I can see those qualities, instead of being seen as nonchalant, being seen as fuckboy behavior, where it's like, no, it's not nothing to do with you, I just don't fucking care.
So even on another website that I went to, Aries is still coming up as
That's
one.
funny.
That's so weird.
Which I can see because Aries are assholes. Like they're literally like South
But they're
Park.
honest. For the most part.
Listen, indecisive assholes, okay?
Get that man out your head.
Indecisive assholes, like it's like say one thing, do another. Like Lord Jesus, help me with that.
Hey, Evelyn and my mom are Aries, and they're nothing.
I mean,
They're at the beginning of April. Maybe they're on the cusp.
Possibly.
But anyway.
Nah, this one's like right almost on smack dab in the middle.
Look at you, look at you, look at you.
So it says Aries, the toxic masculinity poster boy. Taurus, the more into you than you are him guy. Gemini, the spiritualist. Cancer, the sensitive soft boy. Damn.
They just be disrespected. And yo, you know me. I'm the exact opposite of that shit.
Are they referring to men or women though?
Men.
They're referring to men.
Virgo is the lit boy control freak.
Yeah.
Libra, the too cool for you guy. Scorpio, the pretty boy, which I could see. Sagittarius is the meme king. Capricorn, the ambitious. Whoever wrote this was a Capricorn because they're trying to say the ambitious go-getter.
I mean, Capricorns are cheap though.
They are.
They are one of the cheapest people I ever met.
Listen.
Yeah, listen.
Listen. They want to spend your
They're cheap, but I'm about to say they're cheap but expensive. It makes no sense. Like,
They're cheap, but they're broke still.
Wait,
Yep.
Aquarius, the tortured artist, and I would absolutely agree with that. Pisces, the lonely boy. Like I said, with Pisces, it's the vices. Like, vices. Gotta be careful with what their vices are. Hi.
is there a certain level of fuckboy activity that you are willing to
Put up with?
tolerate if the other traits aren't there?
Shit.
Yeah, I know that's a loaded question because I'm asking you to be honest with yourself.
Well, alright. I really think that at this point in our development, especially if we're anywhere between the ages of 25 to 35, we have to come to the realization that we're not going to have a perfect person.
Okay.
So it's one of those things where we have to understand that some of the things that are like a no for us, we might have to kind of like put on a spectrum and see how far we can tolerate it, you know?
Okay.
Me personally, I can't say this, like, matter of fact, like, what are, like, characteristic traits? Are we going with the selfish, cold, having options, saying one thing and doing another?
The basics, yeah, because a lot of it was subjective, like we were saying earlier.
Right.
So just the basic generalizations of what you think a fuckboy would be.
Like, for me, a fuckboy is someone who ghosts people because they can't, like, you know, the confrontation thing.
Yep.
It's someone who is extremely nonchalant, not really giving a fuck. It would have to be someone...
A certain level of narcissism, like we said.
Right, like that level of narcissism. It would have to be someone who definitely says one thing and does another. Like,
I am so nonchalant. I don't give a fuck either.
right, but you're a Libra too, and that's another thing. With Libras, they
Y'all
just
are-
really like that.
yeah,
they
they
really
just-
be mad
I feel like
nonchalant.
So go with the flow, like. Just,
I guess, like-
I'm so cold.
yes.
There's no going back with me after you fuck me over. Like, I am so cold with people. And I'm the complete opposite before they fuck me over. You know what I mean? So that can deter some people of like, well, were you being fake? And it's like, no. It's just you can kind of turn off your emotions while I can.
She's a Libra.
So she was basically saying that she could go very cold, so cold to the point that it seems like did she even give a fuck about you? And it's not that. It's just once you get her to that level, she's just at that level. I think for me, it has to be on a spectrum. If I'm gonna go based on like what I'm willing to deal with, that has to be on a spectrum. It would have to be the nonchalantness. That's it. Like, that would have to be on a spectrum, but it would have to be that you're conscious that you can be nonchalant, and if I address it, you're willing to hear me out and just like try to work with me on it so that I don't feel like you don't care.
I get you.
Cause like, but even for me, like I'm the type of person like I can care, but I just don't give a fuck. I can be like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I know that about myself, and it's a characteristic trait of a Sag per se. Cause a lot of times we care, we just don't give a fuck because we're not gonna say. It was like funny. Someone had shared on Facebook, and they were like, "Oh, arguing with a Sagittarius, that's like the worst thing that you could do." And I'm like, yeah, because I'm gonna say what I said, and whatever you say is just to help you sleep at night.
Yeah,
You
like
know
I don't
what I'm saying?
care what your response
But
is.
like I care, but I just don't give a fuck.
Mhm.
So, because the point of the matter is like a lot of times when it comes to conversations or dialogues that's including like a debate or like negating a point, it has a lot to do with the fact that I'm gonna say my point, and you know, whatever you say, okay, cool, I'm hearing you. But if it doesn't apply, I let it fly. I just don't be care that much. But I think that would probably be it. What would it be for you? Well, not that you want a fuckboy, because we already know. Like,
I'm about to say, I'm married.
like,
I don't.
Yeah, no, we know that's not what you're saying.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, like, if you was to deal with a female with fuckboy tendencies, because that is a real thing.
Very much a real thing.
I think fuckboy is not really gender based. I think it's more so characteristic. Right?
Let me see.
Is that a good way to put it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I personally would deal with a fuckboy, but I'm gonna be reciprocating. Yeah.
The same.
Oh, 100. But I was just that was
right.
kind of almost.
You said it. Whatever you do, I'm gonna do it
Whatever
better.
you do, I'm gonna do it.
That was almost gonna be my answer. I'm like, yo, I think I can deal with most of that, but I'm very much an energy giver.
Yeah.
Like that's why I don't do good with corporate jobs, because the minute somebody gives me an attitude, I'm getting fired. Like you can't give me attitude and expect me to be, oh, you know what? No, hell no. Watch how you talk to me, nigga. I'm a man first and an employee second. So like I can't. But
I agree.
I'm very much an energy giver, so I feel like those traits and qualities, I could deal with that as long as you can accept me never taking you serious.
Yeah.
Like I can almost deal with everything on the list.
But what about if there's a circumstance where you meet someone, they have fuckboy tendencies or energy or whatever, but then it's because they've been hurt or they're closed off or they're just not looking for anything per se.
I'm supposed to be your boyfriend, not your therapist.
Hold on. Let me get there. I'm building up.
Go ahead, my bad, go ahead.
So, like, but time goes on, because remember, kind of like back to that concept that we were saying, that like you don't give 100% right away. It's kind of like you gradually give 100% or leading up to 100%.
Of course.
So what if that person starts dealing with you for some odd, like, you know, some time, and they end up really growing to really like you and start opening more up to you, and they start changing their ways because of you, which goes back to the concept of can you change them because of inspiration.
All right, cool. So I'm glad you used percentages. Now this is what I'm gonna say, because you're very much, I like that.
Okay.
If I get to at least 65 to 70% and half of those behaviors still exist, you are not going to change for me. I'm hauling ass.
Okay.
If you're anything over 50% committed to a person, you will start to make necessary changes.
Oh, okay, all right.
You get what I'm saying? So if I get to 65, 70, you telling me all this stuff, you love me, you want to do all of this stuff, but those really strong traits are still very much prevalent, you're not gonna change. You want to change. Maybe the idea of who I am is causing you to change, but you're something about me you can't fully commit.
So I had to go back to the letter real quick, because now when we think about the concept of when she was saying you literally need therapy, do you think therapy can change a fuckboy tendency? Or
Possibly,
mindset?
because you can address yourself. A lot of people that move like that, they don't address themselves. I'm speaking from experience. I had a very weird span of my life where I was only trying to fuck like supermodels. Mm-hmm. Who the hell was I to? But it was a personal thing. Main protagonist syndrome. No, I'm different, and unfortunately, I had situations that fed that mentality. Mm-hmm. I had success in those aspects and angles where I was doing things like that. So then it gets harder to believe that it's not all about you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially in this era, it's easy for a fuckboy or a fuck person to get validation because everybody's so cold and anti-love. Mm-hmm. All it takes is one successful pickup, and you can turn a cub into a polar bear.
So would you say like the person would go from being a full fuckboy to fuckboy tendencies and then being the good guy?
Yeah, that sounds
yes, but there's
You said that sounds like what?
maturing.
Yeah, that sounds like growing up. That's what I'm saying. You can't have anybody go from one end of the spectrum to the other without the transition in the middle.
Okay.
So unfortunately for most people, someone has to be that transitional relationship where you can cause the effect of change, but you're not going to reap the benefits of that person becoming the best version of themselves.
That's crazy that you say it that way.
That's usually the most hurtful relationship.
I've been that guy a lot. That's why I know that. I've been the 5 of my exes got married after me. Do you know what that does to a man's
Yeah,
mentality?
like,
I'm like, yo, am I the stepping stone? What the fuck is going on here?
Good luck, Charlie, guys.
Yeah, that shit was wild. I was like, yo, 5? Like 5? Married? I gotta think getting a relationship after me.
You see me, no.
Married after me? Like,
my
aight.
past relationship, ain't nobody married.
But you wanna
I
know?
will be by the end of
But
this
you wanna
year.
know why though? Because I was stuck in that middle part.
Yeah.
I was stuck in that middle part, and I still had a lot of fucking tendencies.
That any relationship that is the transitional relationship will never reap the benefit.
Never. Unfortunately. The only benefit you reap from that is helping that person grow.
And hopefully taking some growth. for
And
yourself.
I was gonna say, and maybe growing yourself, but you can't. And a lot of people, where they go wrong is they don't want to admit to that, so they try to hold on to that relationship, and it becomes two people being damaged.
Because there was another point that was made in one of the podcasts that I was watching, and the topic of discussion was fuckboys. And they were basically saying that, well, not the topic of the, one of the guys that was there was a retired or, reformed fuckboy. And he made a
Okay.
point,
He hung his jersey up.
he hung his jersey, right?
Okay.
But he made a point to say about how, shit, I already lost, this attention span like a squirrel, I'm telling you. Damn, it was a really good point too. Give me a second,
Reformed
sorry, guys.
fuckboy.
Nah, we gotta do that, like,
Yeah.
yeah, that intermission real quick, because it was a really good point. Oh, that's what it was. So, he was basically saying that, like, not all people that we categorize as fuckboys are truly fuckboys, that they could be good guys, that they just don't want to be tied into a relationship.
Mhm.
So, it's like, they don't want to be in a relationship, but they do want to have access to sex, and they want to keep it casual. But people will call them a fuckboy because of those 3 criteria.
Do you want to know how easily that transition happens?
So is there like a thin ice between
It's-
fuckboy and...
The ice is determined by the woman that he's dealing with.
Okay.
It's determined by the honesty.
That's what
If he's up front with that person and, says what he wants, then he's not a fuckboy. That's just what he wants.
That's so, like you were saying, where it's like
So would that
he
be
wants
the
to be
good
single.
guy with the fuckboy tendencies in the woman's mind or something? Because we have to take into account that you can communicate whatever the hell you want.
Mhm.
Comprehension is the ultimate lock.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
And if you want to refer them as fuckboy tendencies, sure. Like,
Okay.
they're fucking around. But
But
to think
again-
that they're a fuckboy...
Yeah, and that's where it's like, because it's like he's living his truth if he's being honest about it.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I said the layer of ice comes down to the woman, because if you have that syndrome and you feel like you can change him, or you feel like you're different but you're not, now you are then going to consider him a fuckboy, so those tendencies now look like fuckboy tendencies, when it's like, no, maybe he just don't want to. Not every dude that doesn't want a relationship is a fuckboy.
Right.
You know what I
Because then
mean?
that goes back to the concept of the woman that enters into that situation, that she has kind of like what I referred to before, that I had to face, that I had, was broken wing syndrome,
Mm-hmm.
where it's like I would find a bird who has a broken wing.
Yeah, and you want to fix him, and that's fine.
So
If that's who you are as a,
volunteering to be that transitional.
and you change that about yourself. But if that's who you are as a person, it's okay to be that. You just have to understand you're always going to be that, like we were talking about, you're always going to be that middle relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And if you are good at that, be that. If you don't want to be that, stop going after the same guys. Stop going after the broken birds and look for a nigga that's flying.
Right, and essentially, back to the letter, that point of like karmic cycles.
Yeah,
where,
you're going to get what you put energy into.
So, but when she had referred back to, like, do you not think that your daughter will have that come back to her futuristically? Go ahead.
I don't.
I know you want to say, just go
That's
ahead.
projecting.
That's projecting.
That's projecting, because how I raised my daughter has nothing to do with what my connection to you was.
No, but it's essentially about energy. Which
You're
is
hoping. That's why I said you're hoping that my karma. You're so hurt by me. You're hoping my karma of who I am is going to affect my children. That's personal. That's
I think that they're just trying to make you see it in a different light.
Perspective,
So,
right? 'Cause
they're
she's
trying to
someone's
make
daughter.
You see it
But-
about somebody that you care about. You definitely care about.
yeah, of course.
Whether or not you care about that woman.
I can love my daughter into Harvard. I can't control who she falls in love with.
But that's what. But that's
But
what
you
I'm
wouldn't
saying.
want that for them.
I absolutely wouldn't, but I would.
Basically, they're saying you're treating me this way. Would you treat your
Yeah, would you treat your kid that way?
It's not right.
And it's no, I wouldn't. But if, and I'm going to the concept of what you were saying, where the person's being honest.
Right. If they're honest,
There's no karmic energy there.
Mhm.
There's no karma to be gotten for me if I told you what my intentions were for the beginning.
But what about the men who hold women as space fillers?
and the love dumping. We don't know people's relationship. Only those two know about it. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
a lot of the time, yes, they'll say, "I told her this and this and that," but he's not telling you all the shit that he's telling.
Of course not.
Exactly.
We omit it's
And the manipulation, I think, is what's really here.
so. One thing I will say, and I'm a break guy code here. I know. I'm not supposed to.
She agrees.
One thing I will say, and this is what women have to understand.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why our manipulation affects y'all so much is because we are way better at it than you. Men are way better at manipulating people, not women.
I mean,
we're better at manipulating people.
But when we go into a scientific database, we start talking about percentage.
We're salesmen.
Men are ranked to be the prominent in the whole category of narcissists.
We're salesmen. So if I have a
Also
dream,
known to be the biggest narcissist.
but if I have a dream that you're willing to buy, I'm going to put it in your pocket.
That's horrible.
It's disgusting, but it's the reality. If I have a dream that I could sell you
Right,
to
a little
benefit
bit
me, guess what? I'm selling it to you. And it's your fault if you buy it. You can keep your money in your pocket.
Sir.
I
What?
think it has to do about the emotional aspect too. Women tend to be more emotional than men.
That's what I'm saying. I'm looking at it as a transactional situation.
Yeah.
But
So I can disconnect myself from the emotion if I'm convincing myself that it's transactional. I have no emotional attachment.
Right.
If you get emotionally attached,
But when
that's
women
on
do
you.
that, they're considered gold diggers.
What do you mean?
When women do transactional type style of going into a concept, dynamic, or whatever, they're considered gold diggers.
So you're worried about the label instead of the action?
I'm
We're
saying-
scum, you're gold diggers. We all get titles for that same transaction.
Yeah.
Everybody, see that's the problem. Y'all want to move and not get the title. Everybody got to get a title. Men are fuckboys and scum. Y'all are gold diggers and that's it. If you can move how you want to move, but the transaction comes with labels. You have to be ready for that. That man's ready to be called a fuckboy. Are you ready to be called a gold digger?
Like bad behavior is bad behavior.
Yeah, regardless of what gender's pulling off the bad behavior, it's bad behavior. You are then irresponsible if you are not willing to accept whatever phrasing, words, or terms come from your action
And consequence.
and consequence.
But
Also,
also,
men cannot accept the consequences of their actions.
Of course.
no, yeah, they really can't. But also, there's a lot of women who don't hold accountability.
And that's why we won't take, that's why we won't. If I cheat on you, right, with Sally, and
Why you gotta be a Sally?
because
Becky.
I can't go into why. There's a psychological thing with me of why those names come out when I use these examples. I won't get into that. But yeah, I don't degrade my people. I don't degrade my people. Anyway, if I cheat on you with Sally, right?
Yeah.
And you try to hold me to all these standards because of what I did to you. Oh, I'm a boy, I'm this, I'm that. Sally don't think so. So as a man, I'm gonna go over there where I'm not getting ridiculed for who I am. Like that's
Right,
just
that's also running from your responsibility.
that's 100% what it is. But that's why it's so easy to do, because Sally thinks she's better than you. So all the stuff that I've been complaining about that you do to Sally, she gonna make sure she don't do just to prove she's better than you. So I get to not worry about my own shit because she's not holding me responsible.
Man, that's hella manipulative.
It is. But
Holy
That's
shit.
also proving though that although men can, really not have emotions, they actually are more weaker than women because they can't process it.
we can't. Oh my! Listen,
It's gonna run.
I will smash 15 women, and you better forgive me. You suck one pee-pee. I'm broken for life. You're a slut. I don't trust you. You're never gonna be. Oh no, it's the worst because we can't. That's true. We can't handle it. We can't handle it. We can't. And that is. If I had to put it in a numerical term, one dick equals 15 pussies to a man.
What?
Yes.
Men are emotionally weaker than women.
Yes.
I'll die on that high horse.
I believe
She
it.
said I will die.
I don't disagree.
She said,
I don't disagree.
Men are more emotionally weaker than women. I will
And
die
that's
on
why
that.
I feel like in same-sex couples, now you got two people who
There's no balance.
that like you're going head up with it emotionally. So
Mhm.
that's where a lot of the turmoil comes from in that. I mean, at least in hetero couples, one's running, so you know what I mean. You're not bumping heads,
Yeah.
but
Or there's a chemical balance there because there's difference.
right. Or it
When
could be
everything's
a
the
good
same-
thing because they understand each other. So I guess it's back to that: are they the right person?
Yeah, exactly. You'll do any trait that you have, whether it's fuckboy traits, whether you're a gold digger, whether you're all of this. The right person for any person can change your perspective or change your ideologies. That's just common life shit. But she's testifying.
listen, we're doing this.
Yeah, but the problem is everybody, especially in this day and age, everybody got their lists and their qualifications and their, my girl needs to look like this, or my man needs to make this much, or you're literally disqualifying that person that could come change your life by adding all these layers that they might not be.
The best thing that I ever heard was the flesh will always lie to you.
Oh yeah, I agree with that.
So the mind will always play tricks on you.
Bro, may he rest in peace. I don't care what nobody says. One of the things that Kevin said that I agree with, he was like, 80% of women are out here chasing 5% of men.
Yeah.
But again, main character syndrome. Y'all all swear y'all are gonna be the ones to get that 5%. And it's like, that's not reality.
Yeah.
That's not realistic. That's not how math works.
Right.
It's like, if y'all all chasing this same man that makes 100K, over 6 feet, swinging,
So
and all of this stuff.
6 figures,
Really
6 inches.
And it's like, all right, cool. You want those things. Now, you're emotionally damaged. You're scarred. You got a high body count. Your name is known. You have all these things attached to you. And you want this high value person to come in and then be your therapist. He don't have time to worry about the shit that you ain't fixed about yourself yet.
Yeah.
And then that relationship's never gonna work. You're gonna get treated the same. Matter of fact, he's gonna do it to you worse because he has way more options than you do.
Yeah.
But you wanna chase that same little percentile, and then because he doesn't give you what you want, in turn, what happens? You get hurt, now he's a fuckboy.
I see that concept. Okay.
You get what I mean? Like, it comes full circle. That's why, you know what I'm saying? It comes full circle where it's like now he's a fuckboy. Now he's categorized as a fuckboy because you labeled him as one because you didn't want to listen to the red flags, the green flags, whatever. You didn't want to listen to a human being a human and signs being there because you wanted to believe that you were an exception to the rule or you were an exception to the statistic. You know what being an exception to the statistic is? Proving the numbers wrong. Not looking at the numbers,
that's a valid point right
not
there.
looking at the numbers and assuming they don't apply.
Yeah.
No, if you want to be in that 5%, get yourself in that 5% so that you are amongst those people and maybe your circle changes.
Yeah.
Maybe your qualifications and your ability to find that man become easier because you yourself have done the work. Instead of sitting at home in your mama's house twerking on Instagram hoping that some rich nigga gonna marry you.
That's valid.
Social media is a whole different.
It's a whole different war that humans aren't even ready to deal with.
Next podcast is the effect of social media.
The effect of social media. Will be our
Yeah,
next
that one,
discussion.
yeah.
Yeah, no, we'll definitely cover that on the next episode. And
Social media is the
we could
biggest.
Get Maggie to sit with me, and actually, so you guys, instead of her working, you guys can get Maggie and I.
Social
to have that
media is
conversation.
the biggest drug that is being
Because if anything,
pushed.
Maggie would be a great person to have for that conversation.
Multiple perspectives. Multiple
it's not even
perspectives.
just that, but she had over 100K followers before and everything like that, and like
Before someone hacked my page.
yeah, someone hacked her page. But
That's what
like,
they do. Haters.
who people would assume she was via online
Right.
was nothing that she was in person,
No.
and I got to experience that for myself before we became partners. in business, and then like fast forward, you know, it's been 3.5 years almost, and it's just like social media is just
It's a facade.
it is.
And it's a facade that people
Go crazy over.
not even go crazy over. They emulate exactly. They emulate the fake.
Yes.
Like, yo,
It's almost like
somebody.
they're trying to create their own virtual reality.
Right. It's unattainable.
It's the metaverse.
Mm.
It's the first Instagram is the first version of the metaverse.
Okay.
It's the first version of the metaverse. You can be whoever the fuck you want to be
Yeah.
on Instagram, and that's why I keep my mouth shut. Like, because I'm empathic, I look like I'm depressed on Instagram. Cause I'll see some shit that's like all extra deep, and I'm like, I feel that, and I'll repost it. It doesn't necessarily apply. I might be at home having a blast. I just felt this deep emotional shit, so I reposted it. But I know me in real life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I know other people in real life. So when I see I keep my mouth shut. Because when I see people's online personas, and I'm just like, I'm that guy that's like, yo, I was just with you last week. That's not who you are.
Essentially, it allows a lot of men to present themselves a specific way, and they can be fuckboys in real life. But we're gonna wrap up. Stassi's over it, and we're definitely gonna have that conversation next time. Next time, I'll definitely probably even have Maggie on with me, and you guys can see her beautiful face on camera.
Format change coming soon to the look.
Changes coming, and we're definitely gonna be upgrading things. I just been steady working, as I said in my little clip that we had basically before this episode. There's just a lot going on. There's a lot of moves being made and a lot of things that's being changed in the business and personal aspect of my life. And I promise I will get more steady with everything, back on track. It's slow and steady wins the race. We're not in a rush. We're here for the long haul. Please make sure you guys like, share, subscribe. Head over to Instagram at Slayer Perspective. Let us know what you think. Let's have a conversation in the comments. Do you guys think fuckboys can be changed? Is it through inspiration, or do they have to come to that maturity on their own? And can that transitional relationship reap the benefits, or is it just literally that transitional relationship? Let me know what you guys think. See y'all next time. Peace.